Welcome to problem number 10 for Mac 1140 Exam 2. In this problem, they go ahead and they give you a function, and they say this is the function whenever x is greater than 2, and they want to know what's the average rate of change of this function from the value 5 to some value x. So we know the average rate of change is just going to be the slope equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And when we say y's, it's the same thing as saying f of x. So we know that the average rate of change is going to be equal to f of your final guy, so f of x, minus f of your initial guy, so f of 5, divided by final minus initial. So this is the expression for the average rate of change, and now we just need to fill in all the pieces, because we can actually figure out what f of x is and what f of 5 is. Because f of 5, that's just plugging 5 into the function that was given. So 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is still 3. So 6 divided by 3 is just 2. So we actually know that this expression here is just 2. Now what about f of x? Well, f of x is just going to be this function, but we can actually further simplify it because we can get rid of these absolute value bars. And we can do that because we know this function is only when x is greater than 2. So when x is greater than 2, this term dominates because if it's basically going to be some number that's greater than 2 minus 2. So it's definitely going to be positive overall. And if it's positive, we can just drop the absolute value bars and call it a day. So that means that this function here can really just be represented as x plus 1 divided by x minus 2. So the exact same thing, but without the absolute value bars. So let's go ahead and rewrite it down here. This is going to be x plus 1 divided by x minus 2 all over x minus 5. So now we have a complex fraction because we have fractions inside fractions. So what we should do is we should try to get a common denominator here and simplify. So if we go over here, we can multiply x minus 2 on top and bottom of this 2. So you'll go ahead and you'll just get x plus 1 minus 2 times x minus 2 all divided by x minus 2 when you go ahead and get your common denominator here. And then this is all divided by x minus 5. So now if you go ahead and distribute the 2, you're going to go ahead and the top is going to be x plus 1 minus 2x, and then the double negative gives you a plus 4. And then you can go ahead and see that when you combine your like terms, x minus 2x gives you a negative x, and 1 plus 4 gives you a 5. So that means the top is just going to be negative x plus 5, and it's all going to be over x minus 2, but that's all going to be over x minus 5. So let's go ahead and write this a little bit more clearly. Negative x plus 5 divided by x minus 2, all divided by x minus 5. And that x minus 5 is really x minus 5 over 1, you could say. And we can see that you have a fraction divided by a fraction, so therefore you can go ahead and flip and multiply. Right? If you divide two fractions, you could just multiply by the inverse of 1. Or rather, the reciprocal of 1. So that means we can go ahead and actually write this as this guy times 1 over x minus 5. So it's negative x plus 5 divided by the x minus 2. And then you're going to multiply by the reciprocal of this. Okay, and then now we're almost done, because what we can see is if we factor a negative out of this guy, then this term here becomes negative x minus 5. Just all the signs change. But now you have an x minus 5 on top and an x minus 5 on the bottom, and they cancel out perfectly. So this goes away, and that goes away. So really we're just left with a negative 1 up top and an x minus 2 on bottom. And that would be your average rate of change fully simplified.